This new moon in Virgo is a jump off point and also sort of a last check mark before we come into this new eclipse season. Internally, we can feel a lot of endings and new beginnings, but we really don't feel where these new beginnings are bringing us to. And that is because now Pluto is back in at 29 degrees of Capricorn again for the final and last time. And what that is doing, it is giving us this final ending kind of feeling. Have you been feeling that? Like there's a little bit more to clear out. And look, we're all exhausted. This energy has been clearing out and bringing to the surface all the things from the deep unconscious, the deep well of the unknown, which is what Pluto is. It's really it's the deep underworld, the underground process or areas that we're excavating to clean out the foundations that are no longer serving us, that were built from the false pretenses of the conditioning uh, that we've been subjected to for lifetimes. That's been locked and stuck in our DNA for a very, very long time. And as we move through this, it's not like we are really able to really consciously control it. And anyone that is trying to control it is going to be in for a bit of a rude awakening. Okay. It is time for us to really just trust the process. The building of new worlds is about to begin. It's really going to begin next year, but we're internally finalizing the landscape. It's like we've poured this foundation and now we're kind of coming through and we're fine tuning the measurements of grades, right? I don't know if you guys understand what like how when concrete is poured, you gotta pour it, then put that vibrator thing in there to smooth it out, and you gotta grade it, make sure it's all nice and even. There's no air pockets. We're kind of like identifying the air pockets and sucking them out and making sure that this new foundation is fully prepared to be operational. Now, when I say prepared, there's a bit of a stasis in there. It's like there's this cocoon that we kind of thought we were already out of, but we're actually in the final stages of a cocoon. It's a little disorienting, right? I think back to the original Matrix movie when Neo goes in and he offers him the blue pill, the red pill. Well, we're all being given a choice right now as to what direction we really want to go and what decisions we're going to make. And with the North Node now coming into connection with Neptune over this next year, and also coming into connection with Saturn, and with Neptune and Saturn both coming to the Aries 0 point, this is a complete overhaul of life. This is a complete clearance. I don't think we've ever seen this in, at least in the age of Pisces. It's never happened, right? So we have to allow ourselves to let go. And when we are in this safe space within us, we are really able to manifest our reality. And the more we intentionally, internally work on ourselves to really create that and prepare that and believe that it's possible, the belief that it's possible is the big thing. And that's the Saturn conjunct North Node is getting us to see our reality internally, externally, or we're getting to see our internal reality externally. So whatever is going on in your life externally, it'll be very beneficial to look at it as a reflection of what's going on inside. Now, that's always been the case, but this is going to be really thrown in our face at a much deeper, much more visceral level here in the next few months. But this new moon is getting us ready to step into that in a much more visceral way. Virgo is all about purification. That's if I could describe Virgo in one word, that's what I would use. Okay, so we are stepping into opportunity to really purify our souls at a much deeper level. Now, this new moon is 5 degrees away from Saturn as it's in its retrograde cycle. And so it's not quite communicating with Saturn, but if you have any planets around this area, I feel like there's going to be a certain Saturnian aura around it. but we have to really be conscious and present to tap into that. Okay, now the North Node conjuncting Neptune, this eclipse that we're going to have in a fortnight, which I actually just learned what a fortnight is 2 weeks time. It's very maybe that shows how old I am. I don't know, but this is really going to highlight who is being completely brainwashed and who is drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, of the conditioning, and who is seeing beyond it and above it. It's going to make it so painfully obvious. We can see that now, out in the world right now, where just people are just seeming and looking delusional. Like common sense is not so common in a lot of people at this point, and it's in a lot of people that are not really connected to their emotional being, right? Which is quite unfortunate. But the point is that we need to, in order to be able to do our part to change the world, we have to do the inner work, and we have to express it by taking action and being present and listening to our heart and trusting our heart, as opposed to trusting the world, because the world, everything in the world is a lie right now, right? The only thing that's really true for us, and our truth is really subjective, especially at this point, because so much stuff is transitioning, is our heart. So we tune in, we feel what's right, and we take action upon that. And that takes a lot of faith. So this is really an opportunity for us to step into a deeper level of purified faith in our life. And we have this double yod here, which, if you guys have been listening to me, a yod is a finger of God. When we see this in a transiting chart, this is collectively hitting us all. And this is involved between Pluto and Mars being quincunx. That is a very, very difficult angle. Now, I personally was born with Mars square to Pluto. And I'll tell you what, my life has been fucking crazy. I'm writing a book about it. It could definitely be a movie in Hollywood. My life has been pretty nuts. It's been a lot of highs and lows, a lot of extremes, a lot of really cracking through many, many layers, many ego deaths, thousands of ego deaths, right? Because Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. Mars is the divine masculine. Mars is how we come out into the world. Mars is how we make shit happen. Mars is how we structure. For women, Mars is the kind of man that you attract. For men, this is the way that you operate. Okay, and with Mars being in Gemini, it's easy to get it's easy to get lost in your mind. The visceral components are nuts. So with this yod pointing to Mars, this is basically saying it's going to make your head just fry out. It's going to get so busy that it's very difficult to even function. So really important to, to slow your mind down and to be present. And also too, with Uranus now, it just stationed. And when a planet stations, whether retrograde or direct, it just went retrograde. That means we're going within. So this is really, now we're going through a 6-month process of going within and re-regulating our central nervous system. And our central nervous system, it is so important to pay attention to how your central nervous system is responding and reacting to the outside world. Okay, like if you're around negative energy or negative people or bad experiences or experiences that aren't in alignment with your heart, your central nervous system is going to feel fried. It's like you're not going to be able to handle being around it anymore, right? And with Mars, this is pointing out something that we're doing that's frying our central nervous system. Okay, now with the other quincunx going to this is Pallas Athena, right? And who's this guy again? Proxima Centauri, that's right. So Pallas Athena and Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is also an energy of like, if your mind is in a good place, you are going to manifest great things. If your mind is in a bad place, it's going to manifest really bad things. It's so and a yod in and of itself is already having that effect, because a quincunx is energy that's like, I feel something, but I can't quite figure it out. And it's just won't leave me alone. And I just woke up this morning, I feel weird. I've been having weird dreams and I just don't get it. I don't know why. And it's going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure it out. That is the lower vibration of the Mars energy that we need to be careful of. The higher vibration is knowing self and trusting your heart and having the internal vigilance and also the internal compassion too. Like not beating yourself up or not understanding it, not being good enough, not being whatever it is, whatever insecurities or issue that is going on. within you. It's yanking it out, and it's yanking it out of your foundation. So we've already laid the concrete for the foundation, right? That's the Pluto energy. Now we're looking for the little deep, insignificant, minor bits and pieces that have not fully been dealt with yet. And we've already gone, this is the fifth time that we've gone through this. This is like, dude, enough. I thought I've already gone through all this stuff. So there may be stuff coming back, right? Not to mention, we're also still in Mercury that is in shadow. So we just had a major, massively intense Mercury retrograde. And Mercury being in Leo is really identifying where the communication is coming from. Is it our mind or our ego or our heart, not soul, right? And what do those feel like? What's the difference between the feeling, between what feels right and trusting that, and what feels cerebral? And we want to trust what feels cerebral, but we have to make sure that our heart is in the driver's seat, not our mind. So, analytics are important, but they should be secondary to the feeling, the intuitive, because the intuitive is the age of Aquarius. And the only way to deal with this sped up, very fast, intense energy is to be still in the heart. And then, so before in the age of Pisces, it was the mind that was the dominant process and the heart was secondary. Now we are coming into a time where the heart is leading the way and the mind is just, if it's not guided by the heart, then it's going to pull us off our heart's or our soul's path. And we're going to feel lost, right? So if you're feeling very lost right now, it's more than likely because you're trying to figure it out. You have to stop trying to figure it out, because now at this point, figuring out is coming from fear. When you trust and and you have faith, there's so many unknowns, so much change, right? Uranus being in this position, it's preparing to go into Gemini next year, which is going to speed up even more, right? So we have to do this work now so that when we get to that place, we're able to slow ourselves down and be present in the chaos that surrounds us. And it's going to be so visceral that you're going to be able to see it, literally see like demons and angels like working through people. It's going to be pretty wild and gnarly. Now, so this is really calling out a lot of stuff that needs to go, that needs to die off, that needs to cleanse, that needs to purify. A lot of narcissistic tendencies here I'm seeing, and it's so easy to see now out in the world, right? Like this narcissism, this service to self before service to others, or this gaslighting. There's gaslighting everywhere, right? A lot of people are gaslighting themselves. And now we're going to see that when people gaslight, it's going to just like a rubber band, just come right back to them. It ain't going to, it's not going to have the same effects anymore. Now, I will say with the North Node conjunct Neptune, this is giving us a massive opportunity to connect with the deeper layers of spirituality within us, connecting to, the Most High Source, the universe, God, Jesus, whatever your flavor is, okay? Now, if you're very stubbornly holding on to attachments or to your mind or to things or to control, this can lead you into addiction. This can lead you into some very dark, bad places, right? Like entities will be able to take you over like we've never seen before. But Saturn is coming through here, and like all these planets are really pushing us and giving us the opportunity to be deeply, truly authentic to who we are. It's giving us every possible chance in the universe, really, to overcome and move through and heal from this. Because when you don't know what you don't know, right? And a lot of us, we don't know. But this is also why we see so many healers and so many new things and all these potential reforms to all these systems that are broken and busted. All this stuff is happening and coming through, and I believe it's going to prevail. The good is going to win. It always does, right? It's just the darkness has been in control for a long time, and it does not want to lose its control. But guess what? It's losing. All right. Now, Saturn kind of has a bad rap in astrology. Saturn rules my sign, so Saturn is like the drill sergeant, but it's actually the drill sergeant that sees more in you than you see in yourself, and it wants the best for you. Right? So as Saturn and Neptune are heading towards this 0 point, this event horizon, if you will, that's going to be happening next year, it's preparing us to really live from our heart. And this is going to activate our psychic senses in so many ways. I believe that it's the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, or maybe it could be when the North Node is the closest to Neptune and Saturn. I'm going to look deeper into that. is when the solar flash, the great solar flash, or this, that big CME is going to come in and activate much deeper potentials. And to whatever extent our consciousness and our DNA is able to expand and open up is going to be the extent at which we are able to operate and to open up to, right? So we also have Venus at 5 degrees of Libra with or conjunct to Black Moon Lilith, and these are both conjunct to the South Node. So at the same time that we're getting these opportunities, there's something that we all have to let go of. Maybe it's a relationship that is not serving you. Maybe it's a way of being that you let people walk all over you. Maybe you give too much. A lot of empaths have that issue. Maybe it's a job that, yeah, it makes you good money, but it doesn't really give you the satisfaction, like the passion's not there anymore. You go in there, you just dread going into work. Or maybe, you gained some weight and you want to lose some weight. Now you got to get your ass up and make it happen. These are all the things that can become very clear to you. And there may be some parts of it that you don't want to do, but Virgo is like, it is time to ante up. It is time to embody that discipline, embody the knowing, and go through the discomfort of the growth. There is no, you're gonna either grow, you're gonna grow and expand, or you're gonna contract and die. There is no more, you have to pick a side, essentially. Now, not saying that as a dualistic nature, right? But this is a level of mastery that is being required for us to raise our vibration. The lower levels of vibration, the shame, the guilt, even the indifference, the anger, all these things are being exposed. And we're coming into a new eclipse cycle, which is bumping it up a little bit more. And when it bumps up, everybody feels it, right? Which is why so many people are doing this work. And especially if you're hypersensitive, like I am, we need the compassion for ourselves and stop being so hard on us and believe that we have the ability to do these things. There's groups of us that are here to teach how this new way of being is. And I believe that there's certain ones out there that have been doing the work, mostly the black sheep of the families and whatnot, right? You've probably overcome an autoimmune disease yourself. You've had some kind of deep tragedy in your life that you've had to overcome. Life has been really hard, but it's been really hard because you are naturally at a higher vibration. And as we're clearing this stuff out, these energies from the sun, these energies through the planets are activating parts of us. And the growth process going through that chrysalis is difficult. It's intense. It's not really fun, but it's necessary to get to that place where we all know, we all have this feeling, right? That there's just something better. There's more to this life than we've been living, and we're about to step into that place coming into next year. And this is sort of like the pre-preparedness, especially being at 11/11. And with Venus and Black Moon Lilith at 5/5, what toxic traits that has you giving your power away do you have to let go of? Do you have to clear out? Do you have to stop allowing? And with one of these aspects of this yod going to Proxima Centauri is the part of fortune. So there's luck on our side here. But the quincunx between Pluto and Mars is going to definitely be uncomfortable because they're both at the anorexic degrees. It's the final last bit of this gunk that we got to move through. Now, if you've surrendered and you're allowing it, people, experiences, opportunities are going to come in to really push that along, right? To clear it out the rest of the way. So allow that to happen. And as you do, you're going to find that synchronicities start lining up in miraculous ways. Miracles are about to be an everyday occurrence. Now, for a lot of people, that is already the case, right? But we have to be in a certain frequency to really be able to see it, to feel it, to experience it. So this is really clearing out the gunk that's going to allow us the energy to experience this and to feel this, and to step into the purification process that is bringing us into this next eclipse season. It's almost like this eclipse season, you can feel that the change is coming, but it's okay, it's about to present us with an opportunity to take a deeper level of responsibility as whatever spiritual leadership role that we agree to in this life. And the North Node conjunct Neptune is the downloads of that spiritual life purpose role. And then Saturn coming in is the structuring of that spiritual role for our life purpose. And we're coming into the North Node going through Pisces, while the South Node is going through Virgo. This is like taking all the spiritual stuff, especially with Neptune and Saturn there, and materializing it into the real world. Okay. Now, this is, of course, going to be the next 18 months, but I want to give you guys an understanding of where this energy is at right now, because things are going to get hot and intense out here in the world in the next few weeks. And we have to be ready and aware enough so that we're not succumbing to the external information. We have to be in the know, but not allow us to control what our decisions are going to be based on fear. This is feeling the fear, seeing it out there, and not letting it control your life so that you can walk in faith and live your divine soul purpose. And let me tell you, everybody out there has a divine soul purpose. It's just a matter of, whatever just fully feels like flow to you, right? That's the purpose. And it doesn't like, that's going to call out all your insecurities. It's going to call out all the materialistic and, third dimensional stuff in our society that is really wrong. Wrong meaning discouraging to the highest vibration of our spirit. And we're going to start to see a lot more people coming out with, these really supernatural kind of businesses and healing modalities and things that are going to change the game and change the belief systems. A lot of people that are stuck in their way in the old system, because that is dying. And this is the mark of the beginning of the end. And the beginning of the end is Pluto finishing up its time in Capricorn. So from now until November 19th, it's going to be wild. We're all here for a reason. And I want to thank you for doing the inner work. If you're watching this, I'm sure that you are doing the inner work. And keep going, because we're almost there. If you've done the amount of inner work where it's become part of your lifestyle, then this next couple months is going to be actually really cool, because you're going to observe everything around you. You're going to see what's going on. You're going to feel the process that's happening as you open up. And it's not going to the fear is not going to affect you. Now, if the fear is affecting you, it means you still have an attachment or a belief system or an expectation that is needing your attention, that is keeping your vibration anchored down in the lower vibration, needs to be let go of. So whatever that might be, allow yourself to move through it, and humble yourself to see what you need to learn so that you can grow, and things are going to be amazing. And so I hope this video helped you out. If you would like a reading from me, please go to optimizinghuman.com and let me know where you're at in your journey by putting a comment down below. And, if you feel like anybody would resonate with this message, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. Have a beautiful new moon in Virgo, and I'll see you all on the next video. I hope.